It's time to watch the final of the King of the Air with the King. He's here. It's Marc Jacobs. Adrian also here. I am here, of course, to bring my off-key remarks. Let's get into it.
Let's do it. 15-minute final coming up. Let's do it. Mate, how do you find 15 minutes, mate? Do you get tired in 15 minutes?
I didn't, but it feels longer for sure. I was like,
oh, it's 5 minutes longer.
I was like,
it's a full 5.
I was starting to think of like, I could do this now, maybe this. Yeah, I started to thinking about it again now. I would have liked to done a few really technical stuff coming in just to put on a better show.
I mean, you did 16 tricks in 15 minutes, so it's pretty crazy in competition.
Yeah, but I focused a lot on jumping out, then coming in. I was just so dialed for the King of the Air format, but I barely trained my goofy last year. I only started training it again after King of the Air. I started having fun again, and I just forget give my goofy so much fun. I miss doing these tricks on my goofy, so it would have been cool to, doing tricks coming in. They weren't really rewarding them, but now they want to see more, and that kind of excites me too. That I can tap on that side a little bit more now and show my goofy side.
That's everyone's worst nightmare, really. The King of the Air start congratulating right foot forward people, and that's your regular side. Like, that's just horrific.
Well, there's a lot of goofy riders now. There is.
Yeah.
I mean, all those 4 years of warming up, mate, and you went on the inside all that time, never got rewarded, and in the year they pay you get to go on the side. It's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, that's because you can't win King of the Air just goofy, and that's what I was trying to do for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
And I learned that's not going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, so I had to adapt, and that's what I did.
So we miss pretty much all your initial tricks here. The cameraman focuses on Kevin and Stig for unknown reasons. But how did you start the heat? Where were you? What were you doing?
Oh, just in the flow, mate.
That's all we need to know.
I actually can't remember what I did, but I'm pretty sure I normally start with the doobies and then go into the back roll, switch back roll, mega loop board off, and then I go into the contra, and then I think the switch back roll, mega loop board off, and then I would go into the kung fu's, and then I would do a bigger contra loop and try to get that kite really low, and then I would kind of build up on those scores from there.
Okay.
And go for more over impression score.
And you're sat slightly downwind here, and actually a couple times you can watch Kevin watching you, and if only it was slightly higher definition, because I think the expression on his face would be kind of like as you just kept going and going, sitting downwind, almost like taunting them, really, doing twice as many tricks as those guys, and as you said, finding your flow when they were kind of really struggling. It's really dominant final, this.
It's hard to get in that flow when you crash, and as long as you don't crash, you continue that flow. And luckily, I didn't really crash bad. I think my board came off once, and I bounced on the landing on the wave, but I didn't really crash. Not enough, not something that would put you off that flow. You just you just shake it off, and especially when it's in early in your heat, when you have a little boo boo. You're just like, it's the start of the heat.
Yeah.
How do you find the 3-man heats versus 2 guys?
Yeah, I found it all right in this one because I had my space downwind, but as you can see with Stig and Kevin, they
quite like this one because he dominated this final. It's the most dominant King of the Air final ever. That's why he quite like this one. But in general, do you like 3 people in a heat, or would you prefer it to be 1-on-1?
I've never really. I mean, sometimes with 3 people, I have to give away, and you have to sacrifice a jump because someone's in the way, or you don't have enough room, and you don't want to get point deducted for just kind of like going for it. So, but in saying that, I have never really had that much of a problem with 3-man heats. Obviously, 2-man heats are a lot cooler. and you do have a bit more space. But for me, free, I feel it's fine.
Yeah.
You always got the box is big enough. You can find an area for yourself.
For sure.
It was almost like, yes, sorry, go.
You've talked a bit about going out of flow here. Yeah. I know that you did a lot of visualization before King of the Air of you like winning. I know that you rehearsed the winning speech, for the month before King of the Air, so that it felt like you were just letting things happen. Yeah, and like you were comfy. But did you also visualize things going wrong? Was that part of your mental training as well?
Yeah, I feel like you kind of gotta, because if you didn't and you get in that scenario and it's not going to feel comfortable because you didn't.
All you do is just like start reciting your winning speech as you've crashed or something.
But yeah, you kind of just got to play it out how you think it's going to play out, and yeah, you can modify it when you know more details and stuff. But yeah, you just got to. I mean, the more comfortable you are in a scenario like this, the less stress and pressure and anxiety you'll have. So yeah, it's just one of those tools you can have for an event like this. But yeah, there's a lot of other things that can help as well. But again, experience is the one thing you can't just learn. You have to do it and be in it, and that's something us older riders have over the younger riders at the moment. You kind of got to have a good 2 King of the Airs under your belt to kind of get that. I feel 2 or 3, and then you got that experience for it for sure.
Mate, we're 5 minutes down. When did you sort of first realize, man, this is my final, I've got this?
I'm just trying to remember. Well, normally, I was just I was just in the flow. Like, I wasn't really thinking too much of like, am I winning? Am I not? I was just having fun. Like, honestly, I was just having fun. And I think when people have fun, they're dangerous, especially me. If I don't treat it like a competition and just have fun, and like a lot of the riders always say when they free ride, they think I was going to win in the previous years, and that's because when I'm having fun, I ride gnarly, and when it comes to comp, I'm always too serious, and then I crack under pressure, or I just don't perform how I should. But I was just like, this whole day I was having so much fun, and I wasn't really letting anything bother me. I was just, I'm like, okay, I'm against Liam, and yeah, I'm gonna have fun and just go hard, and whoever wins, and let's ride hard and go for it. Like I went up to Liam before our heat, and I said, "You or me, man, like let's just ride our hearts out and have a good comp, and I mean a good heat, and yeah, whoever wins, we got to promise each other we're gonna win this." Because I think me and him both knew if whoever won out of us, we had it. So we made a promise that whoever won, that we were gonna win. And yeah, that's end of the day. You gotta have fun. Why compete if some people, they compete and they absolutely hate it. And
a lot of people, that's how a lot of people feel.
Yannick used to be like that.
Yeah,
When we spoke to Yannick, he was like, man, I just hate this. I hate feeling like this. But
Lasse as well can't eat.
Lasse
feels sick.
Yeah, it's something you're gonna learn to control, and it'll help your riding for sure.
So did you used to feel like that? Did you used to be pretty petrified?
Yeah, for sure. And you kind of like, you just want it to be over. You just want to be on the podium. So it's like you're skipping the whole chapter, but the whole journey is so like beautiful. Like to me, like I wanted to be every heat, every minute. I didn't want to skip anything. I wanted to.
Yeah, that's
I wanted to experience it all, and that's why when I actually won this year, I stayed on the beach and I soaked it in, and I just wanted to absorb everything and just be there and enjoy it, because who knows, I might not get that moment again. But to me, it was just such an amazing day. And I think I was like one of the last guys on the beach.
Here comes the finger, by the way. I'm sorry. We're going to have to.
Here's the Langeray. There it is.
Here we go.
Get out of my face.
Speaking of beautiful moments and enjoying everything as much as possible, as Kevin Langery swearing at his competitor mid-heat. Anyway, we'll move on.
Mate, you were wearing the black jersey, being a New Zealander. Was that cool to wear that sort of black top in the final?
Oh, I mean, honestly, this year was just so buzzy. Like, not this year, but this event. Like, it's funny because like 21's my lucky number. It ended up being 2021. I won on the 21st of November, which was my birthday. Just weird things lined up like that. I was wearing the black jersey, which is like obviously New Zealand All Blacks, and yeah, it was just weird. Like, and it was funny because I was saying it before I even competed in this event that 2021's my year. It's going to be my year, and I just keep telling myself that. And the fact that it all played out how it didn't happen to be my birthday, it was just like the buzziest feeling ever. Like, I kind of had a feeling when they changed the dates, like, man, that would be so weird if it was in my birthday, because it was like the weekend. My birthday was in that weekend. I was like, if we got wind in that weekend, that would be so crazy. And then it ended up playing out like that. And I was just like, well, this is so buzzy. Like, it's hard to believe how it played out. But it was just so cool, like to finally have my moment. Yeah, it's cool. But again,
what are you telling yourself about 22 then? How's 22 looking?
Yeah.
Well, it's not 21, is it? But again, but yeah, no, I mean, I'm motivated, and if anyone knows me, I'm a pretty motivated, hungry guy, and I think this
stop.
win
is quite exhausting.
This win's made me even more motivated. So yeah, I'm just excited. I mean, some people don't like competition, but to me, I thrive off it. I love people that are like, I love giving people tips, and I'm like, why do I do this? Why am I helping them? But it's just, I don't know. I just want people to learn, and I just want to grow the sport. I just want to share the stoke. But sometimes I have to compete against them. I'm like, that's not smart. But yeah, I just competitive and just love it.
Yeah, I feel like you love competition so much, you kind of want other people to enjoy it as much as you do.
I want to see them thrive. I get off on seeing like people win as well. I get super stoked for them, and I kind of feel like I win when I see them win in a way, because they're just so stoked, especially when it's your mate. Like a lot of
especially when it's Jetto.
Oh,
Jetto for 2022, I reckon. Surely.
I think when he comes out with his double loop, he's going to put it in the entry video, and we'll see him in King of the Air.
Oh, without a doubt.
Or the Mega Loop. The Mega Loop.
Oh, yeah.
The Mega Loop might be easier to get into these days easier than King of the Air, I think.
Yeah.
We'd have to put a weight belt on him. We actually would have to.
Mate, speaking of helping people, I mean, obviously Luca, who was part of your team on the beach, he just did so well at that big air kitely. He even looked like you when he was riding. He had that same sort of style. Did you help him?
Oh, we talk a lot, and yeah, of course, I help him with a few tricks and stuff and that. And I mean, when you hang out with riders and they inspire you, you end up taking a bit of their style. It's just a natural thing. But yeah, he's on the orbit as well. I think we're similar weight, and we're similar aggression on the water. So yeah, in certain tricks you can tell that we look alike. And that's just like some riders, they end up looking like other riders when you kind of have those things linked up.
I think there's going to be a lot of riders looking quite Marc Jacobs-esque. Adrian, can you rewind 45 seconds? Because there's one loop I want to talk about. I reckon you got to hit. Nah. Oh my God. I wouldn't have used the slider. Hit the rewind button. Surely the rewind button.
How far is it?
I reckon a minute. Go back a minute.
A minute from here or a minute from the end?
No. Hit the hit the minus 10 seconds button, Adrian.
Oh yeah, but now we're at 7 minutes. We were right down about 3 minutes. Should I go back to 3 minutes?
This is a long heat, eh?
Yeah.
Mate, it was not a good idea to ask Adrian to do this.
Okay. Tell me how far in was it?
No, actually, I think it is about this.
There you go. I nailed it.
Yeah, of course you did. What was I thinking? So there's a loop in a second, Mark, where it looks like the kite's just in the wrong place for you, and it looks like you're going to eat shit, but you don't. And I want to know what you were thinking, whether that was on purpose. And yeah, the
Was
kite
this the
just
double doobie?
yeah.
Yeah. So it definitely wasn't on purpose. I wanted to get the kite low, but I went into that trick so max 10, I kind of went with it on takeoff. I didn't go directly up. You see how fast I went forward on takeoff? So I kind of got a lot of slack, and that allowed me to overturn my kite. And I actually did kind of like 1.5 turns. So I was going for the double.
Because it does. Kite's like going out the side of the window so aggressively.
Yeah. Like I over looped it, and luckily, riding the orbit for so long, I'm so dialed to that kite that I figured that out early enough to correct it in time, and then managed to caught myself, and then it looked even cooler, because the kite kind of stored, kind of level with me longer. And when I got to see the replay there, I was like, oh, that's pretty sick. But yeah, there's definitely like, it was definitely like, this might be my crash.
Sure.
Again, yeah, it just was in that flow that I managed to pull it off.
That was the main difference between you and say Yannick or a technical rider. You were doing technical things, but with the kite looping so early. I say it as the one where you do a loop.
The latest loop of the day.
Yeah. Okay. Cheers. But yeah, that was sort of signature you for this King of the Air.
So actually, like, I changed the way I did conchas for this event because I saw how they were rewarding the lower loop. So originally I thought I was actually going to have to do triples, but when I do the triple rotation concha loops, I can't get the kite anywhere near as low as I can do the singles. So I started experimenting how low I could get off the singles, and then I started stalling out that the board off in the kind of like back roll while the front roll laid out.
Yeah.
And it was scoring high, so I just stuck with that. And yeah, it's kind of one of those things, like if the rotations were scoring high, I would have just ended up going into that. But I saw that my conchas were scoring so well, and I had them really dialed, and I was kind of getting the kite lower and lower, and a stronger wind.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just was working. So I just stuck with what's working, basically. It's just kind of like trial and error, but I saw that they were rewarding low kite, so all my tricks, I focused on getting that.
Nice. I don't know how you rode out of that so cleanly as well. Like, you're coming in quite hot there. You're just in king mode. Who gives a shit? I'll come in with no tension in my lines and ride out there. So 3, 2, 1. You must have. I mean, it was so clear to everyone on the beach that you had won. It must have been fairly clear to you.
So I mean, I was happy with my performance. Pretty much when I was riding out right now, I started crying. I was just like, oh, fuck.
Really?
It just hit me, because I was like, oh, I've done all I can, and no matter what, I'm happy. Because, like, 1, I was in the final, and then 2, I did a performance like that. I was just stoked, so... And then I was like, I think I've won, but I'm just like, oh, don't get your hopes up. And then I kind of like, okay, calm down. And then I got to the beach, and then Alex and Max were going crazy, and they were trying to get me on their shoulders already and calling me.
That was one of the world's worst lifting someone up efforts I've ever seen.
Man, I was actually, that was the one time I felt in danger in King of the Air.
Yeah,
I felt like I was going to get, because I put my board in the air and I almost backflipped off them.
This is the way the king exits the water, mate. Check this out. It's awesome. Boom. There I am.
I'm done.
Yep, that's
I'm
it.
back.
Where's my caddy? Hayden, hurry up. There's Jet.
Yeah.
Jet's already partying. He's 4 beers deep. Jet's had about 18 beers at the stage.
The caddy crew was growing by the heat.
It was
for me. I had a few extras just jump in, and it was kind of good because the one time I lost my board by the beach, a friend Joe, who came to New Zealand, visit New Zealand from the Netherlands, but yeah, he was right there with my spare board and just chucked it to me, and I was like, "Thank you." So the one time I needed my caddy, the guy that jumped in late ended up being being the one that actually paid off
Saved the day. Nice.
for like a little thing like that. But yeah, it's funny.
That's cool. How important is it to have that support crew and the kites there, boards there, gear there?
To be honest, caddies are a game changer. I mean, every sport has things like this. Why can't we? I mean,
Yeah.
how much gear do we have to get ready and stuff? If you do that all day, I mean, you're just exhausting yourself.
Yeah.
You got to have people to help you, tell you what to do, and worst case scenario, be there for you, because that stuff happens, especially for kiteboarding. We got a lot of equipment. You can have board failure, you can have line failure, and you can have kite failure. So you kind of got to have a lot of backup equipment when it comes to kite surfing.
And Hayden takes that job seriously, right? I mean, Hayden's pretty serious about what he does.
Hayden is the most serious caddy. He has a Bluetooth headset.
He's the golden caddy.
He's the golden, for a reason.
2-time golden caddy.
Yeah. So will you keep the exact same preparation, exact same team for 2022?
For sure. Why change a team when it's working?
So does that mean you're going to fly Jetto from Japan?
Yeah, I might have to, eh? I've got to have Jetto. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Or the wife might be at this next one, so yeah, might have to. Yeah, I definitely want to get Jetto there. I'm pretty sure he'd be keen. But New Zealand crew, they always say they're going to come. They're going to come. So hopefully this is the year they're going to come, and we all just full of Kiwis this time.
Hey, what was your reaction with the sort of local community when you got back? I know you're on the news. It was all over the network news. But mate, how was it getting back out of quarantine? Obviously, you had a lot of stuff to deal with, but to get back to see the guys you've been kiting with for so many years.
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, everyone was just so stoked for me, and it's I'm still getting it now, just in certain spots that people haven't seen yet. They're congratulating me, and just it's just super stoked for me. But it's awesome, man. I mean, New Zealand's kind of small down under, but yeah, it's super cool to having a kiting community here that just so stoked for me, and yeah, it's awesome to have.
Yeah, I mean, Stig did so well to have been there in the final, and actually Kevin, I mean, it was the second boogie board off he's ever done in his life in the semi-finals quarterfinals to take out Nick. So yeah, they both rode like the best they've ever ridden, but just couldn't. Maybe they peaked before the final, which is quite a common thing, isn't it? I saw that with Jesse so many times.
Well, maybe they just got their ass kicked in the final. There's a different side to it too. I mean, let's be honest. If you can't get going, I mean, it was like, you were talking about being in the box, Mark. You've got your own area. Those two guys just seem to be on top of each other the whole day. So it must have been frustrating.
Yeah,
frustrating all over the place.
Yeah, for sure.
There's your favorite girl, Colin.
There's Michelle Sky Hayward on the shoulders of husband.
Of a husband.
Yeah, very good. And actually, that person with the gimbal there, that's I used that exact footage. You see him panning? That was in the documentary. That exact shot. And what are you doing at this point, Mark? You're just trying to hold it together, trying to like speak to people.
Well, watching this back, it feels way longer than it felt. I mean, I wanted to know, but it went a lot quicker than watching this. I was like, I thought it was like maybe 5-10 minutes max, but it's been longer than that, hasn't it?
Yeah,
It's like when we told you we're going to need you for 20 minutes for this video, and it's already been 48. It's about the same problem.
Shit. Yeah. No, I think I was talking to Sophie. And just everyone that was coming.
Yeah.
But it just goes so quick. Oh, here we go. Imagine this year how many crashes are going to be if people are going to be doing double loops.
Oh my god, yeah, it's going to be savage, isn't it?
You almost blew off as well.
All right, come on. I don't know how interesting this is for a YouTube video for people watching, really.
You got to speed this part up.
The best bit's probably gone. We'll keep watching, though. And they sing you happy birthday as well, which Adrian thinks is an absolute crime. But in reality, it wasn't too bad, I don't think. I think it just seemed really awkward.
It was pretty cool. I've never had that before. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. Fair. All right.
Oh, they're shaking hands. I love you. I know. I get
Now,
the
what I
photo.
want,
I
what I
bet you-
want, what I want. Let me talk you to is everyone to examine Mark's handshakes, okay? Because he doesn't get up there and just bottle it like a rookie would. Okay, look at this. The board goes up, the board comes down. He gets up, and then boom,
Boom.
no awkwardness,
Boom.
no awkwardness. That must be the first podium in kiteboarding ever to have been that seamless. Well done, Mark. All that visualization paid off.
Yeah, it actually did. Normally, I'm pretty awkward.
Really?
Yeah.
Late at night, just
It's
visualizing it.
the handshake or cuddle. You just don't know back and forward, and then,
Yeah.
mate.
I mean,
what-
normally, like a crowd like that, it's a bit nervous. It's a bit nerve wracking, but I mean, I am full of adrenaline right now. So,
Mate, did they give you a history of the mask? Because in first mask, every mask had a different story about it. Did they tell you about the mask?
no, I don't know the history. Speaking of the mask, I just put it up on my wall. It's
Oh,
just arrived.
What?
Just arrived.
Yeah, let's get to a bigger shot here.
Oi, oi!
Let's go.
Shit, look at that thing.
Dude, it looks like you shot a
yeah.
bull.
Shit.
Dude, mate, you
Yeah,
need to get some lighting on that. Dude, that thing is huge.
Yeah, it's pretty big, eh?
It's pretty big. It's
I don't
massive.
know.
There's not really enough space on the wall for it, but it's there.
It looks like a
Sophie doesn't
bloody-
want. Sophie said I can't have it there, but she's got no choice.
It looks like a bison.
Yeah, so I wake up just staring at it basically, and
Dude, you
thinking
probably give you some
someone's come to
nightmares.
yeah, I probably
Just watching you during the night.
This is gonna be
just all night.
this is my first night, so I'll let you know how it goes.
Nightmare. Where is that? We've taken it down. Sophie had nightmares.
Yeah, she thinks she's gonna clock me in the head when she wakes up.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
surprised.
she'll think like someone's
How cool
coming in.
how cool that it's arrived. That's so cool. I
Yeah,
was just doing it,
really
did it 2 weeks quarantine, and it's in.
yeah.
Thanks,
I'm
Jacinda.
super stoked it's made it,
Mm,
and non-damaged as well, which is really cool.
that's cool. So Jetto at this point is in floods of tears somewhere just around the corner, I think. And
A little
how
bit,
like how does this next bit happen? So the live stream goes off. The internet can't see anything. Does someone go and tell you like, okay, now you just go and do autographs. Okay, now you got media. Okay, now you see Jetto. Okay, now this.
Yeah, it was basically like, hey, we need some photos of you of the trophy, and it's like, then it's Red Bull going, we need to interview you, and then the news come, we need to interview you, and it's just so on. You got about an hour after of just kind of like interviews, and then after that, well, maybe it's like 40 minutes, and then after that, you just get a bunch of spectators coming in wanting photos. So I was happy to do that. I mean, I love like sharing the stoke with fans. So yeah, just
That's cool. That's so cool.
I just stood there until no one wanted a photo anymore, and then okay, and then to chat to the
Then you started taking selfies.
Yeah,
Were you in the wetsuit the whole time, or you got changed?
Yeah, I was in a wetsuit. I think I was on the beach like 2 hours after.
You drove home in the wetsuit.
Yeah, I drove home in the wetsuit, and there was like no one there, and it was like people were already at the bar drinking, and like the boys were asking where I am, and I'm like, I'm still on the beach in my wetsuit, still doing photos. But yeah, I was just soaking it in. I was just enjoying it, and I just wanted to experience every minute of it. It was an amazing day.
Cool. So
Awesome, Mark.
this year is going to be just completely different, I reckon. If the winds come, it's going to be S loops and double loops are going to feature almost certainly. How do you think they're going to score? Do you think so? You get 3 scoring tricks. Do you think an S loop would be one, a double loop would be one, or do you still think there's going to be a lot of room for like technical board offs and passes?
It really depends on the wind, but I think board offs are still going to be the fundamental of it. Mega loop board off rotations. Yeah, I mean, unless we get super crazy wind, even if it's too crazy, like 50, if we're talking about 50 knots, the doubles in that wind are pretty gnarly. You can get way too much slack, and yeah.
Oh, so you think actually they might feature if it's a little bit lighter?
The doubles?
Mm.
No, they're good in around 40. Anything kind of that 40. But
Just
when
40.
I was, I don't know because I was out in like gusting 60, and when I was trying to feel it, how it would have felt. It felt like I would have got way too much slack and would have just fallen out sky, even if I was 20 meters high. when I was just doing one loop, I was just like, this is hectic, like. But then again, I was on the 8, so maybe a smaller kite will have that less effect. But again, small kites, they whip you, but you can get away looping them higher. So, yeah, well, let's see. I mean, 40 knots King of the Air will be pretty sick. And I think if we get 40 knots at King of the Air, it's going to be the most kind of versatile. Sort of.
So you don't think if it was 40 knots, it would be dominated by S loops and double loops? You still think there's going to be a lot of room
I think you'll see it all. You'll see it all. You may not see unhooking in that wind, so you'll see more of like the double loops. Okay. But technical board off, like mega loop board off stuff, is always going to be the fundamental and the main source of it for sure. There's so much progression still for this.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, double loops are coming into play. Let's see. It's quite funny. I'm kind of intrigued to see end of this year what we'll be doing, because I think a year ago no one would thought we're here now, and I think even end of this year it's going to be like, what the kiteboarding's progression's just taking off. It's insane. It's actually insane.
Mark, thanks for coming on and doing this. Appreciate it. And it's the second time we've had to do it as well, because we had major
and they've both been an hour long.
Okay.
Oh man, we're so bad on time.
Sorry about that. No, we're really professional actually.
So this one's saved, right? You've got this?
I haven't pushed in yet, but I tell you what, I will be saving.
Do I have to leave my laptop open?
No, I don't think there's any of that shit on this one. Let's just
I can just close my laptop and
just close the screen, mate, as fast as you can. That'd be perfect. So yeah, thanks for coming on. Best of luck for getting out of New Zealand, and I really want to see you at these other events. I think it's your time, and
I definitely want to do at least 2 events this year. It'll be cool. Obviously, it's cool to be the king, but
dude,
yeah, I mean,
no one's won King of the Air and the Mega Loop. They've always been different winners. So whoever can get that double, that'll blow you even up further. To be the first person to hold both majors.
Let's hope Mega Loop happens, because it's been 2 years, right? It hasn't.
2019, yeah, last one.
Yeah, so I feel like Mega Loop's going to happen this year.
Surely.
So maybe that could be cool. It looks like a fun event.
Cool. All right, we'll end it there. Thank you, Mark, and
no worries.
See you next time.